And we are live. Hello, Marty. Woohoo,
Hi.
Marty. We have been wanting to do this for so long, and I'm so happy you are
Yes,
here. Uh,
me
uh,
too.
when I first asked you, because Marty, you guys, and welcome everybody. Hi, White Dragon. Hi, Bathrobe Tarot. Hi, a dog's friend and butterfly kisses. And I think it's Veronica or Vicky Perez is Sharon. Thank you for being a moderator. And I saw Craig. Hey, Craig, I just signed you up to be a moderator. I hope that's okay. You told me before you
Oh, you
wanted
have
to be one.
moderators. That's cool.
So welcome, Marty.
Thank
Um,
you.
and again, we have been wanting to do this, or I've been wanting to do it, and you said no, I'm not ready, and the government's going to be after me. You know what I mean? I
I
can't say
said,
anything
I
because
said
it's
that.
secret, top secret. The government, right? So hi,
Yeah.
Cece. Hi, Kelly. And hey, Ivana Intuitive. Okay, so but I'm going to read your bio for everybody, and I
Okay.
have to put it on my glasses to do that. Hey, Anne. Oh, right here it says Marty is a professional psychic medium and channeler and animal communicator. She has been practicing professionally since 2014. She is available for private readings and groups. And I know you do DIMS, I do know that,
I
and is
do.
a
Yeah.
speaker on all things paranormal. Hi, Alice. Uh, Marty lives with her animals and family in the Columbia Gorge area of Mount Adams, which is in, if people don't know,
Washington.
Columbia Gorge in Washington,
Yeah.
southern part of Washington, which is world famous UFO hotspot, as well as being a known Sasquatch area. Hi,
Yeah.
Anne. Yeah. So and plus, I know you're a co-author of the Last Breath,
Our book.
our book. You and I together, we were in that together. I've known you. I don't know how many years. I'm not years.
Since
Several.
15, since like 2015. I've been knowing you for a long time now. I can't believe it.
I know. I can't believe it either.
Yeah.
We met at a mediumship retreat in
Yeah.
Seabeck, Washington, and I remember. Now I'm just doing all the talking, but I want to just say one of the things. Uh, First of all, I know you're amazing. You're amazing intuitive. I remember when one time we were at a workshop with, I'm not going to say who was there. I hope you remember this. Um, and there was some animals in the room with us. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sitting next to me. And I said, do you, because the instructor, our workshop leader, was saying, oh, no, animals don't have anything to tell us, you know. And I'm like, they don't bring messages. And then I was like, we're really okay. I'm seeing doves on the ceiling, like circling white doves. And then there's an elephant and a lion on either side.
Yes.
You remember?
I do remember.
Okay, they were so big. I saw them walking in the room. I mean, the elephants came walking in the room. And they sat next between you and me.
Yeah.
The lion between you and me. Okay, so I said, Marty, do you feel that? She said, well, I don't know. It's really big, whatever it is. It's really big. But anyway, so yeah, we've had some fun together.
Yes.
And
And
I've,
okay, so I was going to tell, and I want to tell the story
yes,
of how when I was just blown away by Kim because, um, you know, listen, I grew up during the time when all of this, in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I graduated high school in 1982. So that kind of tells you the vibe. And nobody believed in any of this. It was, oh, you're crazy, you're nuts. That's just for the tinfoil hat people. And so I kept all of this stuff to myself my whole life. But I'm a lifelong experiencer and of ETs, of Sasquatch, everything, every weird thing you can think of. Yeah, been there, done that, experienced it. And so I first meet Kim, and when we really got to know each other was on the Queen Mary. And then we came home from that. We're like, oh, let's practice on each other. Let's do practice readings together.
just tell
And
everybody the Queen Mary is the haunted boat off of,
yeah,
is it near Los Angeles? I can't remember.
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we get back home and she's in Portland and I was in Spokane then. And so we're just doing a reading on the phone. And, the first thing out of her mouth is, oh, I'm seeing, I have these gnomes, these mechanical looking gnomes, or maybe they're little aliens or ETs. I don't know what they are, but they look like gnomes with like a mechanical helmet or head. I don't know. And I went, are you kidding me? Because I had literally just had an experience with them at this cabin where I live, and of these teensy little, 1.5 foot high. And this is what gives me hope for the world, is psychics and mediums not being afraid to speak their truth, saying give exactly what you get. Because my God, when she said that, I was like, are you kidding me? Yes. Yes, I just had an experience with them. And she went on to tell me, well, this is what they're saying about, what they want you to do with the cabin. And that's what I had asked. I had asked them out loud, why are you here? What do you want me to do with this cabin? Because I inherited this place from my dad who passed, and it was in sorry shape. And so we were, thinking about, okay, we're going to remodel and we're going to redo. And here's Kim. Oh yeah, here's the little guys. I had seen these little guys here. I had had a physical, full on, seen these little short people here running around. And here she answered my question in the first big reading she'd ever done for me. That was so cool.
Well, okay, so Marty, when you say full-on experience, so in other words, so I wanted to say, whenever we got on the phone after that, for years or whatever, even I would pick up the phone, then here they were again. I mean, they would just come over, several of them, right? Sit next to me on the sofa, hanging on the door, making funny faces, things like this. They were, looking at me like this. I mean, this is so amazing to me that they would know we're about to talk on the phone, and they're here before we even do anything, right?
Yeah.
I know.
That's cool. That is cool. And for everyone who's listening, I don't know, experience, not experience, but the more you do this work, the longer you do this work, the more experience you have, And it builds on itself and builds on itself. And I was just writing about this yesterday. Trust what you get from spirit, because if you're too, which in the beginning, everyone is in the beginning of your mediumship or psychic journey, you're nervous to say, the weird things that come into you. You're like, could that be true? I don't know. Mechanical gnomes. I imagine you were like, what? Okay. But what I love about Kim is Kim will say everything. You are so pure. And that also is what it takes to be a great medium or psychic, is a pure heart, and to be a clean, pure channel for spirit, meaning that we're trying to eliminate our egos. Of course, everyone has an ego to live in this world, but we're trying to just be a pure vessel for spirit. That's the best way I can put it. And that makes the best channels, the best psychics, the best mediums, open, pure hearts. And you're willing to trust what you're getting and say it out loud.
Yes, and sing it.
Yeah.
Sing it, Marty. We're going to sing it. We're going to sing it out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well.
The other day, I came home from I was starting to sing to my dogs. And I realized the singing, if we're going off topic, I'm sorry. It's going to be hard to keep us together because you know how we go.
I know, we're super like, squirrel.
I know. But the singing, for anybody also who's listening, will help bring up more verbs.
Yes, it's true.
That vibration. But I want to get back to the idea that when I see these guys, and also I want to say too, in our last conversation we got on the phone, I said, where'd they go? And then you told me the story. They're not here anymore. So that's another confirmation, right? So it's not just my imagination.
Yes. That's the thing. The less of, if you are just, okay, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm seeing here. And she said, I don't feel them anymore. And I said, oh my God, you're right. They're not here. They've gone. And for many years, it's not just me either, by the way. My mom had an experience with them. I did. And my husband did, and my son. So 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of us that have experienced, but not only that, these little menahunis, I call them menahunis, and they're short, They look like little black shadow people, and they had these mechanical helmets that they wore, and they'd take them off, and I drew them, and they just look like little, almost like a stick person come to life, but they're like 1.5 feet tall. And yeah, we all had seen them around the property. You just catch a glimpse. But I physically saw them several times, and they're mischievous, and they're not friendly towards humans. They're not a fan of humans.
Okay.
And I asked them, what's your deal? Why do you keep messing with me? And because it was, poke you in the middle of the night, move the bed, do like kind of poltergeisty things.
Oh.
And, anyway,
they're just little tricksters is what it feels like to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But so when I see them, it's more, I don't feel like it's 3D. It's more ethereal. You know what I mean? Okay. But you're saying you see them 3D.
I have also physically seen them 3D in real life.
Yeah.
But mostly, yes, it's more like you get a flash of physical, and then fades to that dream state, or mind's eye. You're imagining it. Yeah, like that. But that's how I've seen spirit my whole life. When I was a little girl, I had dead people walking in my bedroom, as many of you, I'm sure, have had this experience. But I tried to tell my family about it, and I couldn't explain it properly, because my mom is a nice mom, and she just, oh dear, you must be having bad dreams. And so I just thought, oh, okay, that's what bad dreams are. Like, everyone has bad dreams that walk around their room, like they're physical people. I mean, yeah. At any rate, I just stopped telling people, and I started shutting down, but I didn't not experience it. I still experience dead people poking me, talking to me, whispering in my ear. And the very few times when I reached out to, they'd say, tell your friend. For example, when I was in 3rd grade, I had a friend's grandfather passed, and I had this old man come to me in my room. I didn't know who he was. And he said, I'm so-and-so's grandfather. Will you tell her I made it okay and I'm safe? And I was like, oh boy, okay. And so I did. I told her. And she was it made her really upset. She's like, well, how do you know my grandpa just died and all this? I'm like, because he came in my bedroom and told me to tell you. And then she didn't respond very well, but I knew it was true. So the good thing about that was, the scary thing was, oh, I upset a friend. But the good thing was, interesting. I made a mental note of that. That was real. Mm-hmm. That was a real thing.
So now you're out of the spiritual closet. I wanted to say hi to Ron, False Teeth Real Tarot, who also has a channel. Ron also has a channel, you guys. Hey, Marlene, Vivian, Christy, Holly. And then there's, I think I said already hi to Butterfly Kisses. Thank you all for so much for being here. Hi, Katie. T-Barb, hello, dear. All right. I just want to say hi for some of these people. And Jill. Hey, Jill. Okay. I'm probably missing some people, but I just want to make sure. And White Dragon, by the way, White Dragon, as I mentioned, it's a male. We have mostly, I will say in our chat, mostly female. There's a few, I mean, not that it matters. I'm just saying, but White Dragon, I just found out you're a male, White Dragon. For some reason, I thought you were a female. Not that it matters. I'm just saying. Okay. But so I know when you come out of the spiritual closet, what then happens? And I want to, this is important, I think, for other people too, to hear just for a bit, because I really do want to hear about your experiences with the ETs. I think that's what we want to hear about, because, we're going to be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I want to really hear from a woman who knows.
Oh, well, it's, what's interesting too is that I didn't know you were going to advertise the show this way. And guys, I don't talk about this in public. This is the first time. This is a big deal. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, okay. I have bits and pieces I've shared, but no, not about the ET contact. But I think I'm ready. And yes, all I can tell you is, I'm not going to try to convince anyone. This is my experience in my life, and it's my truth. So having said that, I was taken during my childhood many times at night by grays, the little grays.
Oh, okay.
And I never told anyone about this. I never said it out loud because honestly, I thought they were dreams. I really just thought, oh, wow, do I have some great dreams? That's kind of
Oh.
amazing. Where they'd float you out of your bedroom and float you outside and up to the ship.
Oh, wow.
And
By the way, just only what you feel comfortable with, okay, Marty? You don't have to, if you feel at all, just.
Is it already too weird, Kim?
No. It's not too weird for me. It's just that I want to make sure you're comfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot. So the journey of believing yourself, believing that this is real, it's been a lifetime for me. And so it's not just 1, 2, 3. I've seen some people talk about these things and they're so certain and they're so sure. And they're so like, oh yeah, and then we went around the ship and this and that and this. I'm like, it's not like that for me. As far as I know, it's ongoing. I have worked with 1, 2, 3 different groups of extraterrestrials, praying mantises, and the Greys, and the Nordics, the ones who just look like they're humanoid and they're very beautiful, and the long white blonde hair and beautiful blue-green eyes and tall. And then also a group, is that 3 or 4? I've never really told the whole thing to anybody. I've just told snitches and snatches. So what made me know that it was real is I read that communion book. Whitley Strieber, or I don't know how you say his last name, Strieber. Okay. But it's called Communion, and he has a picture of the ET on front. And I was like, hey, that's the guy that I see in my dreams all the time. Oh. But this is 8th grade. I had one experience where I was allowed to remember. I was allowed to come back from the experience of going up on the ship. And I was awake and I knew it was real. Mm-hmm. And all the other experiences, which had been several, I just really thought, probably that's a dream, right? But it seemed so vivid and real. But I still was convincing myself that all the prior experiences had been dreams. But what they were doing with me, and lots of other kids too, by the way, I recognized kids over time. Yeah.
Was I ever there with you, Marty?
I don't know. That would be cool. Darn. I've met one person who was.
Okay.
I mean, so the thing of it is, you see all these kids in their pajamas. We were at this is the thing that happened in 8th grade. I know I'm all over the place.
It's okay.
But I like I said, I've never told the story in very much a linear fashion. So 8th grade was the big one.
You have 80 people in here, listening.
Oh, hey guys. Hi. Thank you. Yeah. This is very interesting. Thank you, Monica. Well, I'll continue. No. So, yes, I was taken my whole life by mostly Greys when I was a kid. That's all I remember. And then 8th grade, I had this crazy experience where I was full on awake in the dream. And that's how it felt. I'm awake in the dream. But when I was dropped back off after a night of traveling with the ETs, I just knew that just really happened. I know it. I know this is real because I didn't get any sleep. I was wide awake. I was exhausted. One night, they took me to a base, which I believe was in the Andes in Peru. And we flew. I had the experience of I was taken by the hand by a man who said he's my father. And this father was probably, I don't know, 8 or 12 feet tall. I couldn't look at him. He was terrifying to look at. Oh. But he held my hand and he said, that's okay. He could read my thoughts because I was like, the other hand was held by an angel. And this beautiful angel, honestly, I was enraptured with this angel with big gold wings, fluffy blonde hair, sweet, loving. She said, "Don't worry, just don't, you hold his hand, but you can look at me." I said, "Okay, okay." So I'm 14. We fly down to this base, and it was literally, I don't like science fiction. I never watched Star Wars, but everyone, that was like 77, 78. Star Wars was popular then, but I didn't know anything about it because I'm like, oh, I considered that boy stuff. Like I'm not that. And so I never had seen the movies, but we fly into this mountain base and it's inside a mountain and there's all kinds of people, all kinds of ETs, all shapes and sizes and colors, and just
this is
like
Peru, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so in this cave in the high up mountain, flying, when we flew in, I thought, oh my God, we're going to crash into this mountain. But it was a door that opened in the mountain, which people say Mount Adams has. I've seen a video. You should look up the ECETI Ranch, ECETI. They have the coolest UFO videos you've ever seen. And they do have one that shows like the garage door opening up in the mountain on Mount Adams. Anywho, so I'm in Peru and we go in and there's this giant like auditorium and there's all these kids about my age and we're in our pajamas and we're standing in front of this giant auditorium and my super tall white alien, he looked like Jack Skellington, the Nightmare, very similar, big black eyes, super tall, ghostly pale white, so skinny, looked like a skeleton with a skin suit over him. He's the one who said he's my father. And he was the leader of this whole get together. And what it was, I'm standing with all these other kids. I'm like, do you know what we're doing? I don't know what we're doing. So,
and you're still in your pajamas.
Yeah. And we're standing in front of this giant auditorium full of at least 200 ETs. And I'm just like, what? This is like the trippiest. What? And so my father, the man who said he was my father, said, go on. And I said, what are we supposed to do? And he said, you step forward and you talk about what it means to be a human.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what? I was so, you know me, Kim, I'm a very intense person. I get really nervous. I'm like, I said, do you know I'm only 13? and he said, yes, but we want to hear from your kid's point of view what it means to be human. And I said, but I don't know what to say. He said, talk about an experience. And honestly, you guys, to me, this is like the whole meaning of life right here. He said, talk about an experience where you felt all different types of emotions, you at once. And can you think of something like that? I mean, in middle school, hello, that's what middle school is, And I'm like, okay, I just tried out for cheerleading. And it was like, middle school cheerleading. We had to get up in front of the whole school and they would vote on you. And no kidding, they'd say, her feet are really big. She can't dance, get someone with bigger boobs. So that was my junior high. Yeah. So anyway, I had just gone through that and I was a skinny little nobody at that age, but I made it for cheerleading. And so I talked about that. I just said, hey guys, let me tell you the story of me trying out for cheerleading in front of the whole school and then getting judged and then people saying you're ugly, you're fat, you're skinny, you're whatever. And so I was sad. I thought I didn't make it, but then I found out I made it and I was so happy. And my father said, that's perfect. That's great. And then no kidding, there was a guy that had a triangle head and it was like an upside down triangle. And he was in the back row and he raises he had a little arm and he raises his hand and says in this little voice, what means cheerlead? I'm like, I don't know how to explain that. And my father just said, no, don't try to explain it. But I was dropped off at home after that. And it sounds like, oh, isn't that a cute story? Oh, that's funny. Haha. But the thing of it was, I was awake all night and I woke up. I had to go to school the next morning. I was exhausted. I just, and the other thing was we flew over an office in our town. It was a doctor's office and it was right by my house. I never knew that it was shaped like a stop sign from above. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I never knew that, because I was flying over and I looked down. I'm like, what building is that? That's like a block or two from my house. Oh, I know where that place is. Well, then I found out I had a girlfriend whose dad had the doctor's office. And I said, is that really shaped like a stop sign? And she said, yeah, how'd you know? Nobody knows that. Everyone just thinks it's a circle. I'm like, interesting. So to me, as a little kid, I'm 13, I thought, that proves it right there. There's no way I would have known that it was shaped like a stop sign. I mean, for me and my little brain at 13, I was like, all right, that was real. And I'm holding on to that. And I didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell anybody that dream. You guys are all hearing it, not first, because I do belong to MUFON and they've heard the story. But it's so the meaning of life right there, of why are the aliens studying us? Why are ETs wanting to work with us? It's because we have such intense emotions. Whereas they've grown out of that, or they've evolved past that. That's my take.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many theories out there right now,
Mm-hmm.
but of why, or yeah. Anyway,
Wonderful story. No, it's great. We're all just like want to hear every word you say. I don't want to talk too much myself, but I want to give you a break because I want to hear. We're going to have to definitely continue this. But so, why do you think it's you? I mean, I haven't had that kind of experience. I mean, I just see the ones that come around, and I've seen people, ETs. I haven't ever seen a starship ever, except when I was never. When I was in Mount Shasta, I felt like I was inside one at once, but I've never really seen one flying around or anything.
Oh.
And, yeah, I'm going to have to come up to your place. And see
come here. Everyone can have, 1,000 experiences in one night. It's crazy. This place is like UFO Central. I mean, every single night there's something. And I've just been, I have friends that are super great photographers. I'm not that, because I'm so much of an experiencer. I really try to just like be in the moment. And then if I'm like, okay, let me get my camera and I'm like, I'll draw. Also, guys, I'm disabled. I am literally on disability. I was disabled in 2008. I have many autoimmune issues. And listen, I only do a limited amount of readings as a result. But why I bring that up is that seems to go in the UFO community, in some of the psychic mediums that I meet. There's autoimmune issues. There's this stuff that a lot of psychics and mediums don't want to talk about, is the ET contact.
Mm-hmm.
But it all kind of swirls around. And I've been thinking about that my whole life. Like, I really questioned my sanity in the beginning. Like, well, is this real? How can it seem so real? And so I'm always looking to validate.
Yes.
And becoming a professional psychic medium and having now clients who are like, are you kidding me? Yes. How do I know all these things I know? I have no freaking idea. I just know that I'm pretty good at what I do. And I get validated over and over. And so it makes you more confident. It makes you want to take more risks, and it makes you trust more.
Right.
Trust that, okay,
trust.
Holy crap, the things that I went through, I'm thinking those things were really real.
Yes.
And so it's, whereas the rest of my adult life, I just pushed that to the side. I lived a very traditional life.
Mm-hmm.
I was in tech sales and corporate sales and a real estate agent for years.
Mm-hmm.
And are you kidding me? I didn't talk about this. I mean,
yeah.
People that knew me then are probably like, Marty's lost her shit. Sorry. But anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to swear. Anyway, we're all adults.
Yeah. So, and I want to say now, hello, Skywalking with Moon, and there's a few other people that have joined, and Marion, and they're saying how interesting this is. Now, Skywalking with Moon is also an ET person. Dr. Gail, you've heard of Dr. Gail because you were just watching our videos in Mount Shasta. And so she has a lot of frequent contact also.
Oh.
And hers is about missions. And
Yes.
she goes in missions. Okay. So, but she also thought she was crazy too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. And I did tell, some close family members and things. And I know that people know that I'm a no BS person. I'm not, well, I don't know. I think I'm pretty grounded is what I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm not flighty. I mean, I can get going. I can be very ungrounded, but the thing of it is, I'm a skeptic. I'm like most humans. I'm a natural skeptic. Like, oh, well, it didn't happen to me. I don't know if that's really true. And so I always think, God, I don't want to tell people because I think they probably think like I do. They're like, sure, that happened to you. Good for you.
Prove it.
Right?
Yeah.
And
you're psychic, huh? Prove it. Right?
And I had someone say to me, okay, so that leads us to the Squatches, because I do live on land that is also inhabited by Sasquatch. And I never in my life, when I was little growing up, we were on a camping trip once and I physically saw two, a male and a female Sasquatches. It was me and my mom and sister were in a car and it was a rainstorm and my dad was in the tent down below. I was probably 6 or 7. And so we were all like, my mom was going to go out and get him because she's like, Dad's going to float away in that tent down there. So I better go get him. And she starts to get out and she just got right back in. And she said, don't look out. And of course I'm like,
look out.
I'm looking out. So,
I'm looking out.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, and so we saw two male and a female, and they were poking around the tent and then they just disappeared. They just they saw us see them and they took off.
Okay, so how did you know they were, because aren't they very furry?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So this is also the same as Bigfoot, right? That people talk about Bigfoot, Sasquatch as being the same thing.
Yes, but there are different tribes. There are different, there are all kinds of different tribes in the United States right now. And how do I know this? I don't know it. I just know what I've been told. I've channeled my friend who lives and visits me on this property. I have actually channeled him, and he brought a higher mentor to me, and I channeled him. And at any rate, I started having, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, after those Menehune left, we weren't having any more Menehune experiences. I call them Menehunes. I don't know what they really were.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, those Menehunes, they lived under the earth. That's what I thought was so interesting about them. So not all ETs live on top of the earth and just for us to see. They were, that's why they were black. To me, that's why they were dirty. They're dirty. Yes. They've been in the mud.
Yeah, no, I think yes. And so it had been maybe a year since we'd had an experience with them. And I thought, well, good, they're gone. I didn't like them. And because they were just always trying to mess with you.
Okay.
And so then I came back because often we would not come here for the winter because it's too cold. It's too, feet of snow, and it's a mountain that we live on. It's 30 acres and there's 2 canyons on either side. And so there's one canyon where you hear all the activity. I was hearing noises at night. I was here by myself. I thought, okay, Marty, you're just losing it again. That's my first reaction and then I thought maybe it's humans. Maybe there's people banging around outside at night. And we got motion detector lights. We got everything. Not cameras though, because I thought, I don't know how to put up cameras. This was a few years ago. I've since know. But at any rate, what was I saying? Oh, so I called the sheriff. I called the sheriff like 5 times over 2 years. And every time it was, by the 5th time they came out and they'd come and there'd be no one here. What I was hearing, and you hear just like someone standing outside your bedroom window, I heard them talking. I heard what I thought was 2 men talking. And I'm like, I look out the window, nobody's there. And then I hear a car door slam loud. You can't. I know. I'm like, okay, there's going to be a car right outside my window. Nope, nothing there. And so I started seeing lights in the trees, orbs, about basketball size orbs, and smaller, but they were anywhere from light blue to white. Physically seeing them traveling towards the house, and this is not all at once. This is random onesie twosie things over time, but it's always finally then they started hitting the house at night, and I was hearing loud, heavy footsteps outside, and like an elephant is coming through, and then I'd hear bam on the side of the house, and my bedroom upstairs is 20 feet high, and I'm like, how? What? And I get so mad because I desperately need sleep, and I mean I'm 58, so it's like, sleep, you're like, I don't like anyone to mess with my sleep.
Yeah.
So it was always 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I'd go, I finally, I was calling all my friends going, oh my God, something's hitting the house at night. I'm sure it's a Sasquatch, or who could do that? How could they? Or it's just someone messing with me. But then by the time I had told the cops about it, the sheriff's deputies around here, they're the ones that told me, ma'am, have you thought that you might have Sasquatch? And I'm like, well, I thought that, but I didn't want to say that to you guys. And they were like, it happens around here. I'm like, wow. Okay, good to know. But that's how it is around here. I don't go talking. You don't know. It's like it's forbidden to speak of them. It's this weird, many people here have had experiences, tons of people, that people have their Sasquatch stickers and signs and all that. Anyway, a relationship has evolved over time. With me, I had 3 physical experiences where they surrounded me in I don't think we have time for all these stories.
Yeah.
But tell me where you want to go with this.
Okay, tell me, how did you know they're male and female, and how tall are they?
Well, I've seen all shapes and sizes here, which is so interesting.
Of the Sasquatch?
Yes. I've physically, with my eyes,
3D, in 3D.
Seen, 2 small, seem to be teenagers with like red gold fur, and then they look like Chewbacca. They look very similar to a smaller Chewbacca. I felt like they were young. I felt like they were teenage boys, because those 2, I've seen them around here a bit, and they always hit the house. They'll throw pine cones at the window. They're funny. They're cute now. They're not, in the beginning, I did not find them funny or cute. I was terrified. But now, after it's been probably 3 years since I fully accepted them and started communicating with them. And I've seen just the other day, I rarely see them physically. And that's what makes you feel like you're nuts, because you can be out walking the property and they'll throw rocks, they'll throw pine cones. You can feel someone walking right with you. You can see the grass moving. Like, I know you're here. And so I started saying that, hello, I know you're here. Why don't you just show yourself? This is getting really weird. and they'd throw a rock or throw a pine cone, but they're like, no, we're not going to, just because you asked us to, we're not doing that.
Okay. Do you think it's because they're shy, or do they like to be a little tricky, or what is it? Because enough people have seen them. Obviously, because some of the beer things are made out of, in Oregon, right? There's the, Sasquatch beer or whatever.
My relationship with them really took off, because they surrounded me in the field. One morning at 4:30 in the morning, I had 3 dogs, 2 big ones and a little, and I'm taking them out at 4:30, so it's still dark. It's just becoming dawn. It was summertime, and it was in June a few years ago. I see, you smell the smell.
They smell?
Yeah, it's
bad.
It's pretty bad.
I've heard that about ETs, that they smell terrible.
Well, not ETs. Sasquatch.
Okay, but I've heard even ETs do too.
Yeah. Oh, really? I don't know about that. I haven't experienced.
I know. I've heard that somewhere. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
At any rate, no, they smell like a combination of weed, skunk. dirt, just like someone who hasn't showered in a really long time. And
Okay.
so I smell the terrible smell, and I'm like, oh, okay. And my dogs immediately wrapped around my legs. I
Okay.
had them all on leashes. They wrapped around my legs, and I'm standing there, and I see the grasses parting, super tall grasses down the hill of people, like something large is walking down. And it wasn't just in one place, it was a whole group. And as they were coming, they were going, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. They're hoo-hooing to each other. And I'm like, yeah, that's not an owl. and the thing was, you could, I couldn't physically see them, but everything but, I knew they were coming down, and I knew they were going to surround me. And they did. They surrounded me in a circle, and I was there with my dogs. The dogs were, like I said, frozen. I was frozen. And I've since learned that there's something called infrasound that they supposedly have, because I looked it up online. I'm like, I couldn't move. I was frozen, and my chest, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. And I finally went, hey! But they were surrounding me. They were tapping me in the shoulder. They
So
were,
how close were they, would you say, and how many?
at least 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt the energy. I was terrified. I was petrified. I thought, man, this is how I die? What the heck? Like, I just knew it. I thought that, well, this is it. And no one would believe this. And so I said, I finally got the gumption up, and I unfroze my chest, and I said, hey, you're really scaring me. If you're really trying to scare me, it's working. And I was just like, geez, and instantly they dispersed. Like, it was like, oh, sorry, ma'am, like, we're just messing with you. That's what we like to do. That was the vibe, was like, yeah. Oh, I guess we took it too far. And they just circled off down the hill, and you could hear them going, yip, 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 yipping at each other. And I'm like, I don't know what that was, but it was in the invisible whatever. I mean, I called everyone in my family and told them, oh my God, this just happened to me. And I don't know. Did everyone believe me? I know my husband did. But everyone, I think, it's so much to wrap your brain around. When I've seen them physically here, in general, you see them disappearing. You'll see, for example, I've seen sitting here at my computer, because I look out at Mount Adams, and there's a big tree right outside my window. And I saw one day this big tree is being pulled to the ground. And I'm like, what? How is that happening? This pine tree is being pulled by the top down. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, I think I'm going to see something. And so I was sitting there watching, and then it went boing, 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 and they released. It was like a slingshot, and I didn't see anyone until he hit midair. It was like a black fur, looked like a gorilla, only probably 8 or 9 feet tall gorilla, really super tall, big, and he went flying at least 50 or 100 feet down to another tree. And he hits the other tree. The minute he hit the other tree, which I see the other tree going, wah, 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 a pine tree, he's invisible again.
Okay. So they come in and out of this portal. They go through different dimensions. They're interdimensional is another way of saying that. Okay. Yes. I want to just stop real quick here. Your attitude to all this is fantastic, says T-Barb. Lots of laughs. And then there's a lot of support for you. By the way, Marty, I just want you to know everybody is in so much support of you here. We have 106 in here right now, dear. So I want you to know you're sharing your story. And Priscilla says, I do believe you, Marty. It is real. And then Holly says, Marty, you have DNA they are attached to.
Yes, you're not wrong. I know that. I saw that comment. I'm like, you're right. Yes, I do believe that. Long story, long, but let me shorten it up. What I have learned from my channeling and my psychic medium experiences, I have been told, because I've met my father. I've met my father in a trance class that I was
You're
in.
talking about the same white
That
man?
same one from when
Yeah.
I was in 8th grade. And I had asked him at the time, why did you let me remember that one experience? And he said, because you've been such a good girl. And I was like, oh, it just made me cry. And I said, you realize how hard this is. And when in fact, when I told my MUFON leader all these different stories, because they document everything. So yes, someone asked me, did we report these? Yeah, MUFON is hearing about this stuff. Yes.
Okay. What is
MUFON
MUFON? Can you tell us about
is
MUFON?
Mutual UFO Network, and
Okay.
they actually have a formal investigator training program, and they're very scientific. They're the only ones who've been doing this. It was founded by the Project Blue Book, the Hynek,
Okay.
what's his name, J. Allen Hynek. Yes. So MUFON is still an organization that's going. It's very big now. It's the only organization that's been taking these investigations seriously of Sasquatch, everything.
Okay.
But then there is the BFRO, the Bigfoot research organizations, and no, I haven't told them anything, because one time I was on a show, because I do give private talks on this for private groups, and I went on a show because one of the gals in an audience said, oh, you should go on Martin Willis's show. So I went on Martin Willis's show. You guys might find it on there, the episode. Oh my God, I was excoriated in the comments. They were like, well, she seems like she believes what she's talking about, but she's batshit.
Okay.
And I'm never talking about this again. And so I did it. I'm doing it for Kim.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I don't want to there's a question here I want to get to, but I want to ask before, I don't want to forget to ask you this, because this is I remember you told me this before. So I want to just review, the Sasquatch have portals that they come in and out. That's why they can disappear and appear. So there's portals. Okay. So, and I know at times you've told me you were afraid your dogs would go through the portal and not return.
Yeah.
Okay. So that I'm happy that has not happened, right?
I saw my Fritz when he was here. He's a big boy. He's a German Shepherd mixed with a Golden Retriever. He disappeared. And he kept coming. He would disappear into thin air and come back. And all the dogs I've ever had here, if they break away and take off running, they go to that canyon because you can hear these Sasquatch are mimics. And they've imitated my husband calling the dogs. They've imitated me calling the dogs. And that made me worried in the beginning, because I thought, man, what if they eat dogs? I don't know. And so then it was so funny, because my clients were the ones that said, hello, why don't you channel them? Why don't you try to communicate with them? Because you're an animal communicator. I'm like, oh yeah. So I'll do that. And so, oh my God. I mean, they're not very talkative, let's put it that way, but they do send you pictures like most animals do. And the Squatch, they're really, there's a group here that's very noble, and I admire them and respect them, and they treat me the same. They told me the snacks to leave. Yes, I'm leaving them.
Tell us about that.
I leave them snacks, peaches, apples, salted nuts, like roasted salted peanuts, and sunflower seeds, like that. And I,
okay, how do you know it's the Sasquatch?
Yeah, how do I know it's them and not a wild bear? Right? Because I have a really good friend who is a wildlife biologist, and she's like, oh, Marty, God, no, don't do it. Do not put food in the wilderness. Are you kidding me? And so I told them that telepathically. The next time one of them ran by and hit the house, I said, hey, I have questions. Where do I put the snacks? What do you want? And how do I know that a bear won't get them, or I'm not going to attract cougars, or, because there are bear, cougars, deer, turkey, everything here. I live on an old game trail. And they said, don't worry, we'll show you where to put them. and no one will touch it, only us. And it's been true because I see, in general, I get them the plastic bags of apples, and they slice it open with the fingernail. How do I know that? I've seen it psychically, not physically. But then I come collect the bags. They fold up the bags and they put them in the tree trunk. Wild animals don't do that. My husband was saying, well, what if you're just being hoaxed by a bunch of like weird, hunters eating I'm like, all right, well, I'm snacking. I've got snacks for hunters here. But no, I know it's true. I've seen it. I just trust what I get now psychically. And that's what I've seen. They're around when I go to leave the snacks. You can hear them and feel them. And it's like, I can't get away soon enough. So go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. So thank you for helping, because I think everything we do for the world, whether it's a Sasquatch or whether it's feed the birds or whether it's talk to your ET buddies, I mean, it's all sending love. And so that's wonderful that you do that. And you're doing it in love. So thank you for doing that. But now you told me another time, and well, maybe we should answer this question first here.
I know I see that question. Can either of you confirm whether the ETs admire, respect Earthlings for their potential connection to love God with the divine realm? That's interesting. Respect. I don't know. That's not my experience. My experience is they don't think too highly of most humans.
Are you talking about Sasquatch or who?
No, I'm sorry, ETs.
Okay.
The extraterrestrial races that I've interacted with, it's felt a little cold sometimes. It's felt a little clinical. It's felt a little condescending. At the same time, we are, because we are connected and because I believe us people that have these experiences, yes, I think someone said it earlier about DNA, that we were sent here on a mission to experience life as a human. And that's why we're asked to report back. And that's why I've had that confirmed by my father. So my father, my ET father. So yes, they respect mightily the hardship of being on Earth. That's my understanding, is that you've been asked, me, meaning me, us who are connected to the ETs, have been asked to carry out missions here. And it's hard.
Okay.
To say the least.
Yes. Okay. So Marty, and yes, and I think all of us here in this chat, I mean, I can just, and Priscilla saying she's getting goosebumps as you're saying that. We're all here as I think a mission, right? I mean, these are light workers that we have in this group here. And
I see all these sweet comments.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Yeah.
I know it's the nicest group. It really is. But so, I mean, we're here to support each other in this very chaotic time before it gets to the peace, is what I believe.
Yes.
And so we're probably, I don't know. I don't even know what my point is about that, except I just know we're changing, it's going to get better. I think, I hope.
Yeah. No, that's what I hear too.
Okay.
Yes.
Humans are going to get better than we are. We are kind of basically not us, not our group, but there's some humans that are still very low vibration.
Yeah. What I've been told about that is so interesting about vibration and, low vibration, high vibration, because we're all sort of used to talking about that. And, especially in the mediumship world, you need to raise your vibration to connect with the other realm. Not really. That's not my experience. My experience is that almost everyone innately has this gift. It's just how much do you want to pursue it? How much do you want to practice it?
That's right.
Listen, you all know, you light workers here, you all know how hard it is to speak your truth, especially in mixed company. So it's nice that this is a safe place.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I want to ask you very quickly, because I know we're almost out of time. We only have like 5 more minutes. We've got to continue. I know everyone's going to say that they want to continue. Maybe in a few weeks or something if you want. We'll
Sure.
talk about it after, but because, oh my gosh, I don't know. I have so many questions, but can I ask you about the Sasquatch as guards? Is that private information? Is that too?
You mean guarding me personally?
Well, no, I was thinking about guarding
Oh,
another base.
yeah, I do believe there's listen, I have zero proof of any of this except for my own experience.
Yeah,
And so you hear that car door metallic slamming at night.
yeah.
I have often thought, because I hear it always from a certain direction, and it does come from the canyon. And I've been warned by one time I made the mistake of hiking the outer rim of the canyon, and I was taking pictures, and my camera went all wonky, and they will do that. And
Okay.
I felt him. I said, I froze, and I go, oh, so you're right here.
So
And
who is that?
it was my, I don't know what his name is, but I
Okay,
just call
your
him
dad?
the big guy. No, a
Oh,
Sasquatch.
okay.
And I said, so what's up? And I said, I'm only taking pictures for my own private self. I'm not going to share these publicly. I just like to, they had made all these really cool structures going down the hill out of all these dead logs. And at any rate, I said, I just like these pictures to have them for my own. I just think what you guys are doing is cool. And I wonder why you're doing it, because you hear them logging at night. You hear all of these logs being moved around. I'm like, what's this for? And so way down at the bottom of the canyon, I do believe there's a door to a base. And that's just my feeling that I get. But he told me, he said, why are you here? Don't come down here. And I said, why is that? This is actually literally my property, but I'm respecting you guys because, you've been here thousands of years longer than I have. So why though? I just want to know why. He said, because not all of us like humans. Some of us are okay, just like humans. There's some humans who are, I'd love to have a Sasquatch experience. I'd love to communicate. And there's some who's like, I'd get my gun and,
Right.
I've met those.
There's still that's that mentality of us versus them mentality that we're working our way out of.
I know it's going to end. I know it. Yeah, anyway.
Okay. Gosh. So now, so you don't want to talk and then about the other group that's moved in or not, that replaced the Minnehones or whatever.
Oh, the Menahoonies.
Minnehoonies.
Yes, I had an experience. Okay, so the experience was, guys,
We have about 2 minutes, and then we'll just okay.
Okay, I'll try to make it really fast.
We'll continue on. Yeah.
So I was in Hawaii. I was coming home from Hawaii. I'm standing in the security line on the Big Island, which, if many of you may have been there, it's open air. And they have the security screening right there. And everyone's kind of right there standing together in this big 2-hour long line before you leave. And so the security person goes, oh, you keep beeping. It's those 2 pins you have in your ankles, which I don't have. I'm like, huh. I said, I don't believe you. I don't have 2 pins in my ankles. And she goes, yeah, you do. And I said, but I don't. And she goes, look, I'll show you. It's right there on your x-ray. She goes, look, because we were just standing there stuck, And I went, God, that's weird. That's really creepy. And I thought, well, that makes sense, as I have itchy ankles a lot. They bother me.
Okay.
And so that night I came home, I flew home to Portland, drove out here to the cabin and spent the night here. And in the middle of the night, the roof opens up. I'm taken out by the Nordics. And it's, I just know them because they're all the gorgeous people, with long white blonde hair and
tall and thin, right? Everybody want to be a Nordic.
Yeah, right. And so I'm lying there frozen, and I can't. But I was awake. I was fully awake, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm in a spaceship. They're going to operate on me, and I was like, hey, I'm awake. Don't do it. And then I heard them go, oh, she's awake. Put her to sleep. And they just they waved their hand over me, and I was out. But I was still listening, and they said, well, we may as well take those out. They've served their purpose. We don't need that anymore. And now she knows they're there. And I just thought, okay. And so Again, I thought, is that a dream? Is that real? I don't know. But the next day I started researching online and the Menahunis are gone. Well, it turns out, weirdly, if you guys research this, I'm like, who knew? The Nordics and the Sasquatch and the Inner Earth Agarthan people, they may have an alliance. And those Sasquatch may be recruited to work as guards for those two groups, the beautiful people of the Nordic / Agarthans, Inner Earth people. And they don't like those Menahunis. And wherever they are, the Menahunis get out of there. So,
okay.
I don't know. Do I believe that? Yeah. I mean, just from my own personal experience. Is that really true? And do your research.
Well, I know they were gone when we talked on the phone last time.
Right. And
And
so
then you said, that's how we got this conversation.
exactly. Yeah. All the anecdotal evidence and the physical experiences I've had. And I've had guests here that have also had the physical experiences with the Sasquatch throwing things against the window at night.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of wows here. And here's Marcia's. You can see why we get along or something like that. That's nice. Lots of love in the discussion.
You guys are awesome.
I know, aren't they? Look, we are one. I mean, really, it's a beautiful, really, it is a beautiful. There's a reason you brought the community.
Oh, the property. No.
Everybody wants you back, Marty. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You got to come back here before you go anywhere else. You can't go anywhere else yet.
I appreciate you. This is so fun.
I'm just joking.
You're so lucky. You created this community out of the thin air. Everyone found Kim.
Oh, no. I didn't know.
Yes.
I'm an add-in. No, this is a big community, Marty. You don't even really know about it yet. I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I'm just like, I'm a teeny tot here. I'm a teeny tot in the community. There's some, but thank you. Yeah,
All
see,
right.
a lot of people are saying they would love to have you come back. What does Marty's mom have to say about her pregnancy with her? Okay, well, we could probably maybe ask that next time. I don't know. Wondering if there was an unusual pregnancy.
You know, I don't know. Interesting.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, guys. The hugest thing for me was having my own son. And when I had my son, he started having experiences.
Oh.
And he's 2 years old and he's telling me about the men who are coming with the spaceship. And that's his earliest memories are him being taken in the ship. And I went, oh, okay, I guess I better take this really seriously because it's really real and it's happening.
Wow.
So that is really, having a child is what turned me into, I believe my son. I know, he didn't make that up.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Beautiful, Marty. I want to just say what a pleasure and joy it is to have you here today. And thank you for sharing, being so honest and open, and just, being willing to give all these little details and things that we're just like, oh my gosh, people are saying, I want a life like that. I want that. And you've told me now, I said, now maybe you can come back, to Shasta. We would love, because we're going to, Gail and Danny and Bill and I, we're planning to go to Mount Shasta again next year, and it's not that far from you. Maybe you can come in with a couple of your dogs.
Oh God!
Bring your dogs, and then we'll meet at Mount Shasta.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
But we'll see you again before then, of course. But
thanks to you, and thanks everyone for being so nice, sweet.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much, you guys. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again for joining us this evening. And may you have blessed dreams tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to end the broadcast.